builders, every link in the chain. Different roads, same road, all part of the same.
No more division, no more unknown. We're stronger together than we've ever been alone. This is more than a road, more than a run. This is the whole industry moving as one. We don't roll alone.
We don't roll alone.
We ride as one. American transportation co-op. The movement's begun. From the drivers to the brokers, from the shippers to the runners, we stand together now.
We ride as one.
We don't roll alone.
We don't roll alone.
We ride as one.
We ride as one.
American transportation co-op.
Transportation.
The future's begun. Built by people across the industry. Second to none. We stand together now. We ride as one. We ride as one. Long roads, late nights, engines run strong. Drivers out here carry the weight all alone. Builders in the street, mile by mile. Now it's time we redefine the road and the style. For too long, we've stood alone. Now we're building something bigger than we've ever known. We don't roll alone.
We don't roll alone.
We ride as one.
Ride as one.
American transportation COB. The movement's begun. From the drivers to the brokers, from the shippers to the runs, we stand together now. We ride as one.
Carriers, builders, every link in the chain. Different roads, same road, all part of the same.
No more division, no more unknown. We're stronger together than we've ever been alone. This is more than a road, more than a run. This is the whole industry moving as one. We don't roll alone.
We don't roll alone.
We ride as one.
Ride as one.
All right. Welcome in, everyone.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
How's it going, Moonshine?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what it's
Can you
doing
hear
now.
us?
Yeah.
Are you not hearing us or what?
Oh.
Again?
I don't know what the thing's doing. It's doing some shit.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us or not? Apparently not.
Yeah.
So that was our little intro that I actually got done the other day. I still haven't finished it. But I hope everybody likes it. Um, we are Pink Cheetah is going to be running a little bit late. Her birthday was the other day, and her birthday dinner was tonight. So they surprised her with the birthday dinner, and she didn't know about it.
All right.
So she'll be in here shortly. So, everybody knows that we've been putting a cooperative together. So we'll talk a little bit about that until she shows up. So the cooperative is actually called American Transportation Cooperative, or ATC COOP, co-op, for co-op. You got anything to add, Ignacio?
Yeah. What is the also? There is a group named American Transportation Co-op as well.
Yeah, the Facebook group is called American. If you actually search American Transportation Cooperative, you'll find our Facebook group.
Yes. So go
We did
over
start
there and
that last
follow us,
week.
please.
Yeah,
Yes. Thank you. Go follow
yeah, I was going to bring
Moonshine
that up, but Moonshine, can you
as
hear us
well.
now?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear everybody fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you were having
There's
issues, so I
also
didn't know if it was working or what.
Yeah. I just got to
there's
figure out how
also
to get the speakers to play in the microphone thing instead of out of the side of the cell phone. But I'll worry about that later.
Yeah, like I said, during the week or even after the show, you can play around with it. You can always go under the link whenever you want to mess around with stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to be in here. As long as you have the link, you can come in anytime
All
you want.
right.
But hit the back button.
and
Sorry,
also
my
what you
wife.
have going for tomorrow. For Monday, Chris. There's a big meeting Monday. What can you tell us more
Yeah.
about it?
So FOPT, which is Federation, what is it? Federation of Professional
Oh, come
Truck
on,
Drivers.
Chris.
Well, I can't keep all these names straight.
Federation of
many.
Professional Truckers.
Hey, well, that's what I just said, ain't it? Or close to
It
it.
took you
So it
10
doesn't
minutes
matter.
to spit it out.
All right, here, you take over the show then. Go for it. Go for it. It's on you.
I got to give you a little bit of shit.
No, it's fine. But you want to give me shit, I'm going to give you shit right back, and you're going to take over.
I don't know nothing about that
Come
meeting
on,
tomorrow.
Chris,
It's
tell us
something to do
about
with
it.
Something to do
It's
with
actually on
autonomous
Monday.
trucks.
Yeah, so they want all the advocates to come together under a Microsoft, basically like a Zoom meeting that's on Microsoft 365. There is a link. You will have to get a hold of Cupcake off of TikTok um, to get the link because they're the ones in charge of that meeting. They're the ones that set it up. But they
The
want to get all the
LinkedIn,
advocates. They want to get all the advocates together to actually talk about how to go against the self-driving trucks, how to combat it. What's your guys' thoughts on it?
I think we just hire a hacker and have them dismantle the system.
What about you, Ignacio?
Well, I just think is interesting for the first time in my 37 years that I see the industry getting together. So that's more promising, at least in my eyes, just to see how we can band together for one in that one vision and what that one mission, as far as getting together and get a little bit of a pushback to this autonomous projects that the elites, that the government is trying to press against us. So I believe it's interesting just to see the outcome and see how united we really are. So that's more important to me, to see how together, how supportive we really are, and not just the talking, but actually in action.
Well, we'll see how many people actually show up.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking for too, as well. But the American Transportation Co-op has actually is working on putting a legislation bill together to actually combat against the AI cameras. That's where a lot of us actually think we should start with, because the AI cameras is what's feeding them the information for the self-driving trucks. So you got to start from the bottom ground, right?
Yeah,
Right.
What's actually
but
feeding the information for them to come out with the self-driving trucks is the AI cameras.
not only that, but there's just a lot of issues. I personally think it's very immoral to have, let's say, for example, 3 million robots replacing human beings. I'm surprised even government allowed such a project, because this government runs with taxes. If you eliminate 3,000 jobs with no more taxes being collected, how in the world are you going to have this country running if you're eliminating the taxpayers? So to me, there's a lot of angles to it. So also
Yeah,
too, like,
it is.
how are you going to ignore the families that depend on this income, and you try to benefit the elites, the 1%ers, to benefit while sacrificing 3 million families? That to me is insane. That's why I call it immoral.
And I totally agree with that. And like I've always said, we have to hit this from all angles. It's not going to be one group. It's not going to be one person. It's going to be all of us coming together to agree to disagree and
They'll
making
just do
change
what they
and
always
reform.
do. They'll just do what they always do. They lose tax money here, they raise tax money over there. They'll get it one way or another, and they don't give two shits about how it affects anybody.
Yeah, but
The other thing,
that's where we have to strategize together and come to an agreement on how that strategy is going to work to combat all of the outcomes.
And not only that, too, but I mean, I am very sensitive when it comes to privacy. These guys want to track us um, during our full shifts. You know, I think it's baloney. How would they feel if we put a camera on their desktops, in their offices, at their homes? This is not okay with me. I get upset when I hear propositions like this. I refuse to work under a camera. I'm not a baby. I don't need to be supervised. The day that they force me to have a camera, that's the day that I will step out the truck. I didn't sign up to be babysat. Just like they wouldn't want us to put a camera right where they work on so we can watch them 24/7. That to me is also a big no-no. It actually offends me just by the idea of that.
Yeah, it does. And here's the other side to it. You add AI to those cameras, it's collecting biometrics, it's collecting all of the data. And where's that data going? None of us know where that data is going. We don't know who it's being shared with, nothing.
Well, it's just like all these
That's
companies
against our
that
privacy rights.
it's just like all these companies when you buy something online. How do you think these telemarketers get your telephone number and all your other shit? People are
Exactly my
selling it.
point.
Absolutely.
They're collecting it and selling it.
Exactly. But you guys take over. I gotta walk through the motel real quick. So it might be noisy, so I'm going to mute.
Okay. Yeah, I just think there's gotta be a line where we must not cross. I mean, they've already invaded us in so many ways where it's hopeful to me to finally get together and push back because I mean we already being held up at docks, not being recompensated for that while the clock is running. We already don't have places to park safely, even though we pay taxes for it. And FMCSA has got millions of dollars for that. We haven't seen the fruits of that. We have no bathrooms in a lot of facilities. We're not welcome. I mean, where's the line? Where's the line for us as professional drivers? How much more are they going to take away from us? So this is important to get together and try to get that human feeling again, that integrity back, because they've been stealing that integrity away from us, and we have allowed it for so long. That's the only thing I believe the old school didn't do right. I believe old school worked really hard, quietly, but they shouldn't have stayed quiet. Should have fought back in every kind of law and regulation that was pushed against them. So here we are now. What after the regulation, trying to get together and to push back. So I'm excited about this because for a long time I have lost hope. I thought that's the way it was gonna be until recently, with many of you guys rised up and try to do something. At least trying is better than nothing. So I'm very hopeful and excited to see what's gonna happen. Of course, uh, we gotta express that we believe in safety because we all need to come back to our families. We all want to continue seeing our kids grow, have grandkids, and so on. So we are partners in safety. We are partners in professionalism. We are partners in accountability. But with that being said, we're not enemy. We're not rebels. We're claiming what's right. We have dignity, and we are professionals. And you guys need to leave us alone and let us do what we're supposed to be doing. And if we're not doing it well, then we're accountable for it, and we're willing to take responsibility for it.
Exactly. And one thing I want to correct what Ignacio said and kind of go in deeper on is one, FMCSA applied for to be able to get $1 billion a year from the government to run the agency. Now, $1 billion is a lot. So where's all that money going? Because
Salary.
recently, we just heard Derek Barr say that there's only around 300 employees, agents, right? So you divide $1 billion between that salary, because the most anyone makes, the administrator makes 200,000. Everybody else is lower than that. It doesn't add up to $1 billion.
Oh, they're wasting the money on studies. They got to spend a few million to do a study on why,
the
about
studies
parking.
actually
They got
come
to.
from here's the thing: the studies actually come from other grants and funding through the government, not FMCSA. They do their own studies and everything as well, but even those studies that they've been doing, where's it got? No, nowhere. We ain't seen any results from it, are we?
No, I've seen a few rest areas here and there that have been torn down and rebuilt and bigger parking lots, but other than that, I hadn't
And
seen
guess who
nothing
takes
else.
care of that? Guess who takes care of that? The state does. That comes out of state funding.
So the whole idea is like, man, we gotta hold them accountable. We're overregulated, and it's hard to breathe. Now we gotta hold them accountable, because it seems like we are working for the government instead of the government working for us. That's gotta stop. That mentality's gotta stop. That mentality about brokers thinking that we're working for them, that's gotta stop too, because they don't own a truck. That's gotta stop too. Soon, because we gotta go back and hold our own and hold them accountable, because we can't really be out here feeling professionals when they continue to overregulate us with little dingy stuff. The important things like parking, like holding us hostage in a dock for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. All these things do matter to us, because some of us get paid by the mile, some of us get paid by the load, some of us have a reload to go after, and nobody cares. Nobody cares, but we do care, and we're tired of it. Let's hold them accountable.
8 hours. It don't take 8 hours to unload a truck when you have an electric pallet jack or a forklift that takes you 30, 40 minutes.
Absolutely.
That's exactly why the live stream banner shows transparency, accountability, and education. And that's what the cooperative is all about too. Transparency, accountability, and educating everyone.
Absolutely.
All of us coming together to educate each other.
I learned a long time ago.
All along.
I learned a long time ago on how to count freight. If you got a whole pallet of orange juice, if you got a whole pallet of orange juice on your truck, and there's 7 cases on each layer, and you're 5 layers high, how many cases is that? 7 times 5 is 35. And if you got 24 pallets, you take 35 times 24, and bingo, you can figure out how much shit you got. They just unloaded. But no, they got to make this whole big spiel out of it and unload crap onto another pallet and redo it because it's not the way they wanted it to be delivered. Well, then you get with the shipper and say, I want this stuff 5 cases, 4 high, and have the shipper send it the way you want it and quit wasting our damn time.
Absolutely, Mike.
here's
Well said.
the other side to that. I agree with you, but here's the other side to it. Not all loads are the same product. It's mixed product. So that I can understand when they have to, break it down and separate it out at the final destination. But with these full loads of the same product, there's no reason for it. They do it to do a case count. All you got to do is take the count of the top of the pallet, the case count on the top, and times it by what's going down. And you know how
Yeah,
many
if your cases
on
is
each
if you
pallet?
got 7 cases per layer and there's 5 and it's
Yeah.
5 cases tall, that's 35 cases on a pallet. And if you got 10 pallets,
Exactly.
that's 350 cases.
Right.
A 5-year-old could do that math.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take longer to load than unload. If you are like, for example, I put reefers 14 years. I had to pull the product, inspect the product for standards, right? From the receiver and the temperature and all that. Yeah. And even if it was different products, Chris, we had to count different products. So we had to separate it. But you know what?
Yep.
As they're loading, you counting, double checking. And if it takes you 2 hours to load on the dock, there's no reason why it should be 4 hours on the other side or 8 hours on the other side. It should not take longer than what
I've
it took
even
you
had
to
it
load.
15 hours on the other side, but yeah, besides the point.
Yeah,
No,
it
I get
shouldn't
what you
be.
guys
I
are
mean,
saying.
you're not a storage facility. We're not a storage facility. Get your product off. We got things to do. We're not part of your crew. We're not part of your company.
Right.
Get us out of here.
Time costs money. That's what
course.
everybody needs to realize and remember. And none of them do.
I
They don't
remember
care.
I remember years ago when you'd go to these places and they had 3 different kinds of pallets. You had small pallets, medium pallets, and a standard pallet. Some of your and all you were doing was palletizing the crap to go on their delivery trucks the next morning. That's all you were doing.
Yep.
I remember I had an account here with Nestle out of Miraloma here in California, and it was really Walmart. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 stops. But you know what the difference was back there 20 years ago, 25 years ago? We had the option to use the lumpers or unload it ourselves. If you took the option to unload it yourself, they give you $100 to unload with a pallet jack, like Mike is saying. And you know what? I took the option all the time to exercise, to wake up, and to unload myself faster. You earn $100. You get out of there in 30 minutes, an hour. Go to your next one. Now you don't even have that option no more. And now they're robbing you with this fees. Who's regulating this fees? Jeez, I've heard of guys being charged $7,000, $8,000 to unload by this lumper fees. Not only that they're robbing you, but they're holding you up on the docks. Why would they take that option away from us?
Dakota's
That's
in here.
money laundering.
We're going to put a plug into that, and we'll come back to it next week. Dakota's in here.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's get Dakota up. Let her introduce herself.
Hello.
Happy
Hey.
birthday.
Hey,
Thank
What's going
you.
on?
Thank you so
Happy
much.
late birthday.
Thank you. I'm really happy with the discounts I'm going to be getting. How's everybody?
Huh?
How's everyone?
We're doing good.
Good.
You want to
Can you hear me
introduce
well?
yourself?
So I'm
Yeah,
Dakota
we can hear.
Springfields. Dakota
Why?
Springfield's for Pink Cheetah Express.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Dakota
Go.
Springfield's for Pink Cheetah Express.
Great.
That's me.
Okay. What's your background?
My background is with trucking. I have been trucking for about 11 years now, and I am the person who got broker transparency first in ever history from TQL, and I am in the process of the appellate court system in DC where I'm suing TQL for broker transparency.
Well,
Okay,
first of
and
all,
that's exactly what I was looking for. Congrats.
first of all, I want to congratulate you for your courage. I want
Thank
to
you, Ignacio.
congratulate you for standing up for what's right. Uh, I think you're teaching us how to stand up for what's right, and I believe you are setting the example of how to fight back. I know it comes with a lot of
Mhm.
latchback, right? It comes back with
A
a lot
lot.
of pain, a lot of
Mhm.
sacrifice. That's why I'm thanking you, because anytime you
Oh,
stand up
thank
to
you.
a monster, you're gonna suffer the consequences. But hopefully, God willing, you get the justice you deserve. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. Justice we all deserve, have been waiting for, is over delayed, and I know we will prevail. I know we will. Things are changing already, so I just feel that I know we will. We're being recognized for our work and for brokers that have taken advantage of us. And, not all brokers have taken advantage. Look how many years it took me before I even asked and requested broker transparency. It was a long time, but, people told me I would be shunned if I asked for it. And I didn't care. I was at the point of, you know what? I'm losing my business and I need to stand up for myself. I knew that a lot of things were wrong in their contract, but if you want to do business, you have to sign these contracts. But, that's a very small print. It is illegal for those waivers to be entered in and forcing us to sign them. And many drivers, they don't know. They just say, well, that's what you have to sign, but that's not true. So I know,
Yeah.
and I really feel we will prevail. So thank you for your kind words.
Yeah, and I believe it. I believe you will as well. And firsthand, you always got my support. I got your back.
Yes. Thank
Always.
you. Thank you so much. Thank
So,
you.
what made you decide to stand up to TQL instead of picking a smaller broker to start with?
Um, well, they were the ones that weren't I asked for a little bit of money extra for a load that I had done. Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I love that ice cream, but I never can eat ice cream again, especially Haagen-Dazs without thinking about, what's to come. But they owed me for my I think it was a few things they owed me money for, and they didn't want to pay, and they said that was all they, the scenario is that's all it's in it. There's nothing more I can do. I wish I could help you, but I can't. And I said, okay, I'll believe you when you show me your paperwork, and I would like to have my broker transparency in accordance to uh, the statute, 371.3. And they
Hmm.
laughed at me and said, ha ha ha, good luck. And I was like, ha ha ha, I will be the last one laughing. And I know I will be. So I'm already laughing because
You
I got
actually
it.
were. You actually were on that specific load because you along with the backing of SBTC and other
Mhm.
advocates ended up getting FMCSA to enforce the transparency on that load.
Yes. And I didn't
So
even
really,
know
you
about
did get the last laugh
SBTC.
already.
Yes. And I didn't even know about SBTC at the moment when I was having the dispute or asking for extra money for my services because I said I don't work for free. I mean, nobody should be working for free if you want to do it out of the kindness of your heart. But I know there's money in it to be made. I only asked for, enough to cover my fuel because I had to wait till the next day to offload it. And I know other things that they're not saying, but I just feel like they knew all along. There's no way that to me that brokers are going to find out the next morning at 6 or 7 a.m. Oh, you can just dump it wherever. They knew that day what was to be done with it. You are a broker. You're going to have plan A, B through Z. I mean, you should, right? Have plan A through Z. What if something goes wrong with this load and I have to get rid of it and offload it? Where am I going to offload it? And I just asked for a little bit minuscule amount of money, very, very, very minuscule. So that's why I know they're really upset because now it's costing them so much more. They should have just paid me. So if they just paid me, I wouldn't have been asking them. I would have been asking Arrive Logistics and some other companies that I had issues with after. But I definitely know we're going to win. It's going to be some time. But I didn't know SBTC at that time. And when I was looking up my rights as a trucker to get 371.3 enforced, I actually came across only online could I find SBTC James Lamb, the director, his paperwork that he had filed many years before. So I was like, wow, this guy writes this motion. I think he was writing a motion or something. And it was, exactly what I was saying, that these are unlawful waivers that you must give it if I request it. And he was the only person I found online that had written something, and it was really old, so it was going back from before. And I called him. I was stuck that day. I remember freezing in my truck. I had my antifreeze had cracked. Everything was just like on the floor. I had so many issues. I was freezing in my truck in Long Island in New York, and I looked
So
up
you check your
who could help me, and
cord, heater
SBTC
cord.
answered the phone. He called me back, or he called me back, or he answered the phone. I remember, like, I just was shocked that he was on the phone, and he helped me out. He said, this is exactly what we've been fighting for years, but nobody wants to fight for it because you're going to get blacklisted. And I knew I was going to be blacklisted, but I was already going to lose my business. What else do I have to lose? Like, I'm on the edge here. I'm still hustling. My truck is broken down. I'm freezing in my truck. What else can I do except look for somebody else who has already experienced with this? And I was just very grateful because he definitely knew what avenues we were going to pursue in order to get it. And we went through asking the secretary. So, and that's how I got it. The secretary, we wrote letters with my lawyer and SBTC, and we requested an order, and we requested what the paperwork says, which I can't talk so much about it. And James was here last week to talk, but we are in the middle of the appellate process. At the end, actually, we are just waiting now. It's a waiting, decision from the judges to find out whether or not they stand with truckers and America, because America is nothing without truckers. And if you want anything, unless you're going to walk to go and get it and build it yourself, you better be on the side of truckers.
And
Do you?
here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to add. So you getting blacklisted by a broker, who cares? Because that shows you that they don't want to do business the right way. That's how I've always looked at it. Okay, because
Right.
I've had TQL blacklist me just because I was fighting for broker transparency. I had JB Hunt blacklist me, never even hauled the load for them, not once, and they blacklisted me. CH Robinson, same thing, never hauled the load for him, but they put me on their
CH
blacklist.
Robinson owes me. I want them to know I didn't forget. I just have bigger fish to fry, but I don't forget to fry the minnows when I'm done. So CH Robinson owes me money. I have a list. I make a list, and I have other fish I'm frying right now. There's not enough space in the frying pan, but I don't forget, and I will get my money.
Yeah, they actually, and I had a good rapport with TQL, and I always made money with TQL.
That's why I
always
asked
made
for
money with
14 other loads,
TQL,
because I
but
had so many jobs with them.
yeah. And the reason why I did have a good rapport is because the brokers that I dealt with, they loved me.
Hmm.
They loved how I gave them service, provided
Yeah.
them service when I was running my authority. But as the company, they decided to blacklist me. The board members of TQL
Hmm.
put me on the blacklist, all because I was fighting for broker transparency.
Well, they can't fight all of us, and if all of us got together,
Exactly my point.
there's nothing they can do.
So the
And we already
more we
started
get
to fight
behind
together.
us, the more.
Hmm.
And here's my point. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter what business actually blacklists you because that
Hmm.
tells you right there they don't want to do business the right way. So why would you want
Right.
to do business with them in the first place?
Hmm. You know, I did a
And
load
not
for them
only that,
afterwards.
once we get together and make a movement like what we're trying to build with American Transportation Co-op, what
Hmm.
SBTC is trying to build with their organization, what
Hmm.
Billy Randall and TMJ is trying to build. We're all coming together to fight
Yep.
as one and go against this. If we don't start standing up, nothing will change.
You know, I know these brokers, you know, some of them even called me. They were so upset that this was happening because I, like you, when you're in, you know, you're doing business for these brokers, I don't just hold the load and like you forget about me. Like sometimes it's on a weekend, they forget to do the tracking. I'm just sharing by myself. I just send, if I have their cell phone number, I'll just send my location. I'll give them updates without them having to ask. Really, also because I want to sleep and I don't want them waking me up. But I let them know, here's pictures of everything. I checked everything on the dock. Everything looked okay. Or this is how it looks. This is not okay. They love the service. That's why I was doing so many loads with them. That's why there's 14 other loads they need to give me the information for that they haven't given to me
Mhm.
yet. But I know I will get them. And even if I don't get them, it's because I'm getting less money or the same of what I got when they revealed the other load of the ice cream. So they don't, if there's nothing to hide, you just give it. You know, people don't lawyer
Exactly.
up unless they have something to hide. You know, you got nothing to hide. You're just like, here, I'm transparent. You know, they're just, I know we're going to win. That's all I can tell you. I just know. You know,
Do
and I'm
you
just laughing because that broker, when I looked him up before, the actual broker, he is still employed at at TQL. I gotta look up his name and let some drivers know, like, if you're doing business with this broker, this is who you definitely, I wouldn't be doing business with this one, because you never know if you want to ask for broker transparency. I mean, there's other ones that are still asking. Other people are still asking, but they're not asking as hard. They're asking softly, like, hey, you know, I'm sure there's more in it for you. Come on, can you just show me or whatever, you know, just tell me, you know, the truth. They're not going to get the truth. They're not going to share their information. They have to be forced. And if they're forced to show it to everybody, then we've won, because they can't you know, they can fight against
Exactly.
me, but I'm hard to fight. You're gonna have to put up a battle to fight me, and we
Oh,
do
picked up a
you
little
here's what
battle.
I've told brokers. Here's what I've told brokers when I've asked for transparency when I was running my own authority still. And
Hmm.
I told them, if you ain't got nothing to hide, why not
Just
show
tell
the
me.
paperwork?
Exactly.
do you
Exactly. And
feel
not
that
every
the
single broker has that waiver.
do
I'm
you
sorry, what?
feel that the law needs to be changed, or they just need to enforce what's already on the books? What do you think
i
needs to be done?
I believe whatever is already on the books is possibly is there to be enforced. It should have been enforced. And I mean, it's just
It
absurd
needs
how anybody would believe that you can just regulate yourself. It's like, okay, we have to pay federal taxes. So then I don't want to pay them. So what do? I just tell them, well, when I signed up, I decided I don't want to do it. So I'm not going to do it. It's the same idea. Like, you cannot just deregulate yourself from federal law. That's why I went after them. And I was like, this is like, I don't understand why other people weren't doing it. But people were asking, they just weren't going 100 miles an hour like SBTC and James Lamb and I were. But who wants to when you're going to be blacklisted? You got a payment to pay that says probably more than your house mortgage. You got to pay for a truck. You got to pay for a trailer. You got to pay for breakdowns. You just can't afford to fight with these people. But, you know, enough is enough. And I had enough, and I was going to fight.
Yeah.
And I know that we will prevail, because now look at so many truckers, over 200 something thousand, when I had requested that FOIA request to see how many people had gone out of business. So many more now. And these people would love to come back to business. You know, there's a yard that I operate, take over some drivers that are in a group of us that we park at, and everybody else, like, this place was empty. We were the first people there. Like, I was the first person to park there with my people. It is packed now, and nobody's going in and out. Everybody's just parking up. You know, these people want to go back to work, but they need to make money. And if they don't have broker transparency, and it doesn't matter that they're paying a little bit more now with the rates because diesel is up. So that doesn't make any sense. They need to come back. They want to work. They want to do trucking. They have payments to pay. They're losing their house. They're losing their truck. They're losing their trailer, their car. They can't make the payments. And there's just no way that I can see. I'm driving when I go to these places, and I see sometimes the in-house brokers are actually on site. You know, the ones that hire me. I went to Texas once, and I realized that there was a broker that hired me was on the site of the receiver. So I was like, oh, that's their in-house.
Yeah,
That's
they're
their
an
broker.
in-house broker.
And everybody in the
Mhm.
parking lot had Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Range Rovers, you know, beautiful cars. And I'm like, how do they make this money doing just making phone calls all day, and you're making agreements? Okay, once you get that going, then you're making your connections with your shippers and everything. Then you don't have to work so hard every single day. You're working hard, you're hustling. The load boards are going to make you work harder, but the shipments are there. They need to pay. If shippers found out how much they are paying, they're not going to pay them that much. And then what are they going to do? They're going to try and pay us, what, 54 cents a mile, like they did years
And
ago
that's exactly
during the
why
pandemic.
That's exactly why the broker's customers started pushing back on them about a year and a half ago on the rates.
Mm-hmm.
And now
I'm
the
going to start
shippers and
looking
the
up.
customers, the manufacturers, everybody
Mm-hmm.
that owns the freight doesn't want to pay anymore, and that's one of the reasons why I couldn't get any loads when I had my brokerage.
Right. And now it's
Because I
so
put
hard,
quotes out
you
there
know.
to where it was
Mm-hmm.
enough to cover for the carrier, and then plus
Yep.
the brokerage taking the 10%, right? To where everybody's
Right.
making a little bit of money. And they kept
Now the
telling
only
me,
people
you're
making money
too
are the
high.
dispatchers
You're
and
still
brokers.
too high. Yeah.
Yes, and they're asking for more money from the customers now because they want to say, oh, well, diesel is this factor, we got to factor in the diesel is so high. However,
Mm-hmm.
they're still paying themselves the same amount. And if they're
Yep.
giving us a little bit more, it's only to cover the fuel. It's not making anything more for us. It's not making anything more. People are still not making enough money. It's not
Yeah, they're
it's
just
just not
covering
fair.
the extra cost, if that.
Yes. So that bill that James Lamb talked about last week, I think it's transparency free. I have to look it up, but
It's
I have a paper here.
intermediary
1 second.
transportation intermediary act or something like that. I know it's got intermediary in
He
there.
told me the website. Okay, freightbrokertransparencynow.com It's a PDF when you get on there, and it's going to tell you what that bill is asking for, which is to let the shippers know. They're going to ask for them to tell them what they're making. If you know what you're making, the shippers are not going to agree to pay you what you want to get paid. So if the load, for example, is $1,000, right? And they're
Mhm.
telling us it's only 600 in, and they're going to tell the shipper, okay, well, we're getting paid 400. The shipper's going to be like, for what? That should be going to the truck. So then the shipper's going to be like, okay, maybe they'll try and say we'll pay less. But actually what should happen is it should stay the same amount. They pay themselves less, and we get paid what we deserve. 16%,
Right.
14 to 16% is more than enough for a broker to be paid for just making the phone call. They're not dealing with anything that we're dealing with, okay? Not on the road. They're not hustling. They're not stuck waiting for the next load. They're not being woken up every second. They're not being delayed and they're not being paid. They're stealing our detention, okay? That's why they also don't want transparency, because they stole
Yep.
millions to probably billions by now in detention and accessorials. So, and that's what they owed me, a few accessorials that they didn't want to pay. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's not fair.
including layovers, all of it.
Yeah, layovers, you can't pay
So
a
I got
reefer
to jump in there.
$250
We have
anymore.
a comment. We have a comment in the over from LinkedIn from Trucker Steve, CDL instructor. He
Okay.
says, I want the FMCSA to be transparent. Example, list all CDL providers that have been removed from the trainer provider registry. Separate them by CDL schools, theory trainers, trucking companies that train their own drivers, etc. We all want transparency in trucking.
Mhm.
And he made another comment.
And that makes sense. They
Just
want to know who's
yeah,
training these people. Once they close a place, they go to another place to work.
yep.
And they don't know. It's the blind leading the blind again. They leave one school to go to
Can you
another
guys
one, or
see
just
the
pop up one.
comments on the bottom?
I don't see it. It just says Truckers for Truckers, Real Talk by Real Drivers, and the phone number. That's all I see going across.
What about you, Ignacio? And no, it be below the video feed.
Yeah, well, I think following up
I can't see.
what Pink Cheetah is saying,
Okay.
uh, I'm gonna share an experience. Uh, so we know that we are fighting in our own ways. I did had an experience maybe about 6 years ago, 7 years ago with TQL, and I had 7 trucks at the time, and we're going into Colorado with a reefer every week for them, and we had a load into a Walmart into Colorado, and we had the same load a week before. And with Walmart, if you don't have an appointment number, they're just gonna bounce you out. And that happened to one of my drivers, and the driver ended up sitting and missing an important event at home. So we went through it, right? Sometimes we take a slap, we turn the other cheek, but sometimes we can't. And this one time, because that one driver missed that event, it was personal, and they don't care. They don't care if you have
Mm-hmm.
family events. They don't really care about your family time, your personal life. To them, it's
Of
just
course.
business. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the next week I had the same load, but this one time I took the load, and when I took the load, I make sure I call the broker, the same agent, and says, hey, listen, I need you to send me the direct contact from the Walmart, because this time I'm going to verify that you have an appointment for me, because this time I'm going. You know what happened? The guy says, don't worry about it. Everything's over there. Everything's good. I didn't believe him anymore. When I called over there myself, It happened to be that this guy didn't have an appointment, didn't have an appointment number, so I didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
So when they, you know how they track you, and the same agent called me and said, "Hey, Ignacio, what are you doing at home? I see you haven't left yet." I said, "Well, I'm waiting for you to set an appointment up because I just called over there, and you don't have an appointment for me." So anyways, he said, "I'll take care of it." He didn't take care of it. I have my dispatcher now handle that drama. So when my dispatcher was trying to get the appointment confirmation, the guy wasn't coming through. And one of the times my dispatcher called him, she got cussed
Mm-hmm.
out by this agent. But here's the
Mm-hmm.
important thing: when he cussed her out, it was really personal now for me, because you don't come over here and you don't do your job and cuss people out because you're irresponsible. I was not worrying
Mm-hmm.
about delivering that load on time because I can jump on a team right away and I still cover my obligation with the load. So this guy, when
Mm-hmm.
he cussed my driver out, this is a good thing about platforms right now and the power of platforms. And I'm going to tell you how. At that time, I was running Truckers Past, Present, and Future. We have 600,000 members on there. Not only that, but
Wow.
I follow rates and lanes very closely. And they're
Mm-hmm.
very good
Mhm.
on the things they post on. And you know what I
Yeah.
did? I went ahead and took screenshots of the conversations of the confirmation rate, and I posted them. When I posted on my rating lanes and in my own platform, it was only about 10, 15 minutes when my phone rang. And it was a lawyer from TKO
Mm-hmm.
asking me to please remove that post. I said, no, I refuse to remove that post because facts are facts, and let the world know if God knows. Another lawyer called me up. Anyways, 6 lawyers called me up, and I refused to
What?
remove the post. You know what
Oh my
happened?
God.
They were in a class suit at the time. I didn't know this. They were in
Okay.
trouble at the courts at that moment when I did that. I'm not gonna put this on stone, but I believe it was the vice president of TKO that finally called me and he says, "Sirs, what can we do to make this right? I'm begging you to remove this from social media. It's not looking good for us. It's gonna hurt us tremendously." I said, "The only way I can remove this, I have to verify with my dispatcher if she's okay with your agent calling her and apologizing for the disrespectful call he made." He said, "I'll do anything for you as long as this cleans up." It says, "Okay, also, if
Wow.
I do this, do you promise you guys are not going to retaliate against her, me, or our company?" He promised. He says, "I will give you my word of honor that I'll still owe you a favor." This is his words. I asked my
Okay.
dispatcher, I said, "Tamaya, will you take an apology and we're able to move past that if he calls you with an apology?" She's a believer just like I am. She says, "You know what? I'm willing to forgive. That will make it well." You know what? That agent called her and apologized to her. She told me they
Oh
called me,
wow.
they apologized to me. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna remove this with the promise you guys gonna pay me for that load. You're gonna not gonna blacklist me, and we can move on in peace." That promise was kept. I went deliver that load. They did give me an appointment. Everything was smooth. They did pay me. I never mentioned
That's
it
good.
again until now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to share with you the power of the platforms and the power of sharing, just like Pink Cheetah is doing today.
I don't have anything to write
Hey,
down with
let me
right now,
point
but
something out.
please send it to me. Send me those platforms.
Let me point something out as well. So, with Ignacio's story, you that shows you actually stand up against somebody and you can work things out.
Of course.
But you actually have
Because
to
I used to
take
love
that step
TQL.
forward to stand up for yourself in the first
Hmm.
place. And that's exactly what Ignacio did. I've done the same thing because I had a load that I did when I was running my authority, came out to 5 different brokerages on that load. And I even went to the actual customer because they were in Jerome, Idaho, right down the street from my house, only about 25 miles from my house. So I went to the actual customer's office and even talked with them. And I posted it up on social media. And Sharp Transportation was actually on the BOL as the carrier. Okay. I got a message on LinkedIn from, I can't remember who it was. He was like the shipping manager, but he handled, the freight. He was one of the main top guys, asking me to take that post down. And I told him,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
I'll take it down as long as you help me figure this out. He said that because he was claiming that he didn't know how their stack number got onto that BOL, but they had no involvement in that load. I said, okay, well, if you can prove that to me and help me figure all of this out, I'll take it down.
So what happened?
And he didn't want to. He didn't want to help me. And then about a week or 2 weeks later, I get a letter from their lawyer's office telling me either take it down within 10 days, otherwise there was going to be a lawsuit for defamation. So I called the lawyer's office. I gave them all the proof, the messages on LinkedIn, everything, the documents, all of it. And I said, you guys go ahead and try to sue me for defamation. You ain't going to win. It's not coming down. Didn't hear nothing else about it.
Oh. Well, I think that if there's ever any situation like that, if you are going to ask them for anything, you tell them we want broker transparency. Okay, that's when we're going to take it down. When you are
Yeah,
doing
and
what
that's
you're
what I
supposed
was
to do,
going
which
for. I
we're
was
not
going
telling
for
you, the
broker
government's telling you.
transparency.
I will keep up your comments until broker transparency and everything else goes through Connor's Law, broker transparency. Oh, and I have to announce next week. Look out on Tuesday. There should be big news coming through from SBTC. I can't talk about it, but James Lamb is going to announce. So you got to look out. We are working so hard. We are very small compared to other trade groups. People believe, like because OIDA has so many people, but that's what they have. They have a lot of people. I see OIDA at the truck show, but they're not. They weren't when I was looking up like who I want to join, what group, and the problem that I had, which I think is the number one issue in trucking is broker transparency. Because if you have broker transparency, you're going to solve every other issue. You're going to there's not going to be that much fraud. There's going to be transparency about how much money is the shipper paying. $150 an hour for a truck to be delayed, but then they're only paying us $25 an hour. Why are you keeping another 125? You didn't even work for that phone call. We're already there and we're already late. That should be a 100% to a trucker. Just so many other problems would fall down, like everything else would fall into place if we had broker transparency, right? But I know that the news that's coming is just one small part of what SBTC is doing. SBTC, I just love SBTC. I just have to tell you, I know a lot of people, they say they haven't heard about it or whatever, but you got to know about it now. Broker transparency is what we've been all fighting for, and James Lamb has been fighting for years, and then OIDA came in later on to fight. Of course, his Mr. Pugh's members all want broker transparency, but I don't hear so much about other groups fighting as much as things that we're doing. And of course, I know your group. Yes, of course, we are doing things together with Chris and your group and some other groups, but I just want you to know, like, we're doing so much. James is going to make a big announcement coming up on Tuesday. Even though we're the smaller group, we're the loudest group. I believe we're making the largest impact in the industry because we just are not going to stop. And I think that what comes with it is just our experiences, and we're fighters. It's like we're boxers in the trucking industry, and we're going to be champions, and we are champions, and we're going to win. All of us truckers are going to win. It's going to solve a lot of problems once we have it. And even with the fraud, especially with the fraud in the billions of dollars, the fraud is outrageous right now. I just don't understand why it's not under control. I understand some things are not under control, why some things aren't, but there are things that can be prevented if you had broker transparency. You're not going to have that much fraud.
Yep.
I know for a fact.
It would cut the fraud down by more than half. I've already ran the stats.
Oh,
It's
yes.
more than half. I can't remember the exact number. But
That it's come down
we
already?
gotta start wrapping up. We do have to start
Okay.
wrapping up. We try to keep the live, right around an hour. That way it's not
Okay.
taking up everybody's
I got
time. And
I got one more question.
Mhm.
go ahead.
If they start enforcing the broker transparency with what they got now, do you think that these brokers are going to start doing what Super Ego was doing with their, they got their rate con from the shipper, and then they were changing the dollar amount before they gave it to the driver?
I know that's going on a lot, but I think that's going to change. I know that was going on with a lot of, I used to work before as an owner operator, leased on to Express, which was also known as Link Logistics, also known as AMA Logistics, also known as Global Transport, which is still in operation right now. But I don't believe, because I knew the people that were dispatchers, and I don't believe that they were cheating me. But there are brokers, carriers out there. They'll get the load from the broker, and they're going to change it, and sometimes these brokers are changing the rate confirmations. But we can just see, I think it's going to change a lot, that it's not going to be able to be done because you can always reconfirm with the shipper.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Stop that.
So one thing I want to point out, also mention, is as long as they enforce the transparency the way that it is, it does need to be revised. It doesn't need a new law, nothing like that. It just needs to be enforced along with a revision of it. And here's the other side to it. They cannot take a law or a law off of the books.
Mm-hmm.
They can revise it only.
Well, I think
Change the wording.
what's there is what I'm fighting with. I know James Lamb and the attorney for SBTC has written this, new stuff that's coming up, and that bill, and this is going to make it all the more transparent and helpful for truckers to be able to do what they want to do, which is get broker transparency and how to go about getting it.
And I want to
Awesome.
address one other comment that came up towards the end. So the after.org signed their petition. Let's unite together, truckers for truckers. So I've tried to work with David. He does not want to collaborate or throw ideas around or even change what. So there's parts of the After Act that I agree with, but there's also parts that I don't agree with.
Mhm.
Okay, now that it's going to be different for every single person. Okay,
What's
so
the
if you want
After
to
Act? I
support
don't
his
know.
movement, and ask James about it. It's too long to actually go into, and
Okay.
we're trying to wrap this up. But
Okay. Okay.
James knows about it. James knows about it.
Mhm.
Um, but anyways, so it doesn't mean we can't work together still.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I can't support the After Act. If anyone else wants to support it, that's your choice. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean we're fighting against each other. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Basically, in a
Right.
nutshell, what it is he wants $5 a mile minimum for loads. He wants $1 a
Oh, I
mile
heard
for
of this.
company drivers, and the broker transparency. He wants the shipper, the broker, the trucking company, the owner operator, all in one circle. He wants everybody to know what everybody's doing.
Mhm.
Before the load is even moved.
Right, and he
And
wants to
here's the
see
thing with
what
that,
the load's
that
paying and
that
everything
eliminates
before
free
you book
market.
the load.
You
Mhm.
can't
Yeah, I
eliminate
actually
the
didn't
free
hear that.
market.
Oh,
I
and the
I
other
I,
and
I didn't know that.
the big thing is he wants to limit brokers to a 3% cap on what they can make.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. SBTC doesn't
Yeah, I
agree with
don't either.
everything with that. Hmm.
No.
Yeah,
The
me
$5 a mile
personally,
minimum. No. Anyways, we're getting on a tangent, and that's not what this is about. Um,
Okay.
anybody else got some final words before we can close out?
yeah. I just want to say, Pink Cheetah, you're one of the
Yes.
heroes without a cape. You're not being ignored.
Oh,
You're
thank
being
you.
acknowledged. We love you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Oh, I
you.
love
You're not
you.
alone. I know, even though it feels alone, a very lonely, painful road, you are a hero. You are one of
Thank
those
you.
pioneers that are paving the way for the industry. I want to recognize you for it. I want to applaud you for it, and let us know
Thank you.
what's going on, because we're behind you. You're not alone. There's a lot of groups
Yes.
that are rising up. So
Uh-huh.
you're not being ignored. Your sacrifice, your hard work is being appreciated. I've known you for a while now. We were in a live
Mhm.
before, but you know what? You are a hero to the trucking industry, and not only to the trucking industry. I'm proud of you being a woman too, because what is it, like 9% or 7% of the industry are females.
Very
You're a good
small.
representative for the woman driver. So I applaud you
Thank you.
double and twice for that. God bless
Thank
you,
you.
and continue the
Thank you.
fight.
Thank you so much,
Yeah, if
Mr.
you weren't
Kais. Thank you
already
so
on the
much.
board of the SBTC, you'd be on the board of the American Transportation
Chuck.
Co-op. Put it that way.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love to.
Yes,
Thank you.
definitely.
But
What you're doing is something that's very important, something that's needed, and it's amazing that you had the courage to stand up to a multi-billion-dollar company like TQL. And when they threatened you, you didn't back down. That just made you want to go after them even more.
yes,
And I
well,
think that's amazing.
I am my mother's daughter, and nobody outruns the pink cheetah. Okay, nobody outruns my mother. Nothing gets past her nose. Nothing gets past mine. Only sometimes, but once I learn my lesson, that's it. But I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my attorney from SBTC, and without James Lamb. You know, I thought I was going to be fighting it by myself, and thank God I have them, and we have the other members,
Well, you had
21,000
more
plus
backing
members,
than
and you
what you
guys.
realize, because I was backing you the whole way too. And so was Michael
What I say it
Johnson
again.
and Noah.
Oh yes,
I said you had more
NOOA.
backing
Yes,
than what you realize.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, he was fighting too. I remember I was in the truck, and Michael had called me to tell me he had called up somebody. He had spoken to somebody to get through, as well as with our letter with SBTC helping me to write to Mr. Pete Buttigieg, Secretary Pete Buttigieg at the time, to demand our order, and was helping as well. No, I know. it's going to take a village, but
Yeah,
you see the momentum is
it
growing
does.
and a lot of people are catching up,
Hmm.
and they think like nothing's going. A lot of people online, they write to me and they think nothing's going on with it, but they have to understand, with the lawsuit it takes time. We had to have the district court, the lower district court, and then have with appellate court. It had to go back and forth where we were writing our stuff, but unless you are signed up with the with the court pacer website, you're not going to know that we answered, because I'm not talking about it all the time. I need my answer, and then I have my lawyer to talk, and I have James from SBTC.
Well,
He'll
you
talk
gotta
about
get
what's
through the
going on.
case before you can actually talk about it
Yes,
too.
right. So but I
The
just want to
case
put
has
it
to
out
be
there that
actually closed out.
you know what is so funny, as TQL was my first load I ever took. I did my first load with TQL. So I was very thankful to them. And I liked them. I was doing work with them over and over. But, when you're going to put me in a position where I'm begging you for money I deserve, that's my services, that's just not going to work with me. I don't, you pay me. I
Right.
work for you, you pay me. I don't work for free. No, I'm not doing charity work
Yep.
in trucking. No, thank you. So thank you so much for
And
everybody
just
backing
so
me up. I
everybody
appreciate it.
knows,
Say
yeah.
again.
So just so everybody knows, I do keep the
Hmm.
live open. Well, the
Okay.
live ends, but we stay in the background for a little while because that way the recording gets uploaded to your guys' account, or it
Oh, okay.
should anyway, to where you have access to that recording.
O-
But you have to stay in after the live ends for it to upload to your
Okay.
account.
Great. And then I can
Okay.
I can
But
upload it to my private accounts,
yep,
to my social
you can actually
I can
download
then
it
upload it
and
to my
share it
social
out.
media. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we'll stay on. And
And
please,
if you can't, I can get you the recording as well. So
okay,
don't
do
worry
that,
about
please, because
that.
I'm not so savvy. But I want to, Ignacio, please send me the names of those platforms that if I'm not already joined in them, I want to know about them, just because I think exactly what you said is true, that the platforms are a big deal. I'm not going on as much as I should be. So I'm gonna have, more power with when truckers know what's going on. And even if you're just a driver, it is going to affect everybody. All the rules and laws that we're fighting for, each one of them affects every single driver in the end.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It has a
Absolutely.
trickle effect.
Yes, I
Okay.
All
So
believe
right.
thank you so much.
Chris gave me your phone number, but if not,
Okay.
I'll make sure you'll get it. But it's
Okay.
very important. So enjoy your birthday celebration. I'm glad they
Thank you.
surprised you. They surprised
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for your courage. We also want to thank Artie Daniels for his comments, for being here with
Thank you.
us. But thank you
Yes.
so
And
much.
also
Continue the fight.
Thank you,
truck
Artie.
Steve Trucker CDO inspector
Oh,
or
yes. Thank
something
you,
like that.
truckers. Yes. He was a trainer. Is he a trainer?
Yeah, Trucker Steve CDO instructor. He's a
Instructor. Okay.
CDO
Yes. Thanks.
instructor.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Thank you to him as
Thanks
well.
to everyone
And
for
thank you
joining
so much.
in. Anyone that's
Yes.
going to be
Thank
watching
you.
the recording afterwards, thanks for the support and watching, listening. We are putting out a lot of information and covering the whole industry. That's
Hmm.
exactly what Transportation Co-op is actually for, is to support everybody in the industry. It's going to be the organization for everybody to be able to join. Free
Hmm.
membership. It's
That's
a
great.
place to network and make connections and help one another and educate one another.
Yes. I
It's
just
doing a
think
lot.
that's a great idea.
But
It's a great
everybody have
idea.
a great night.
Yes, thank you so much. I talk to you guys soon. Chris, we'll talk soon. I want you to know I've already
Yep.
worn my shirt 3 times.